I was desperate for change. I'd lost myself in a life I thought I should have. My journey to Peru saved me. I found myself and remembered who I was. I've never looked back. I'm Sarah Ann Negus, the Modern Day Shaman. Today I have 20 years experience helping people like you find an altered state of consciousness so you can reach into your divine matrix of energy until you find inner peace and a deeper connection to life. My first impression of Peru was arriving in Lima, the cloud city, the locals call it. Even though it's on the Pacific Ocean, because of its geography, it doesn't get that many sunny days. It was really very dreary, and there were huge areas of slums amongst this big city. I was tired, and I remember feeling very low, like the clouds covering the city and the roofline of the slums. The next day, I took my life in my hands and went on board an old bucket of a plane. We were going to Iquitos, a town you can only access via the air or via the river. It was the port for our speedboat that was to take us down the Amazon River to the indigenous village in the jungle where I was to stay. It was dusk. There was a storm in the distance. The captain of the boat navigated the flotsam of the river, which was huge tree trunks, by shining a spotlight in front of us and then travelling at great speed towards whatever he saw. We all had life jackets on. I was so afraid we were going to crash. And the drama of the occasion was increased by the violent electrical storm we could see and hear up ahead. Fork lightning lit up the sky intermittently. I kept thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? As I'm telling you this story, of course, we did in fact arrive safely. And I went straight to bed, hidden under a mosquito net, listening to the dense sound of the jungle all around me. The humidity was immense, and something that I didn't get used to ever. I was here to meet Mateo, the head shaman of the area. He was going to work with me and on me and teach me a few things, apparently. The thing was, he didn't speak English, only Quechuan and Spanish. But as it turned out, he also spoke telepathy. And although I didn't know it at the time, so did I. He said he couldn't find me. Well, I knew that because I couldn't find me either. So over a period of a few days, he subjected me to physical manipulation, kind of along the lines of Rolfing or strong osteopathy. And each time I had a rush of heat and spontaneous tears. He allowed me to follow him as he worked with his people, and I was included in village life, in fishing for piranha, playing with the pet monkeys, dancing and eating, and learning all about their folklore. This story stayed with me the most. There are freshwater dolphins in the Amazon, and they're born black, but they turn pink in adulthood from eating the piranha fish. And it is said in their folklore that they have mated with the women of the village at different times in history, bringing power to the shamans who live there and are born into that ancestral line. Although these dolphins are really very rare, I was so privileged to be accompanied by one as I took a fishing trip with Mateo. They're really strange looking creatures that emerge from the muddy river and stare. It brought me a feeling of peace, and I'll never forget that dolphin's gaze. As I got settled, Mateo began to ready me for the Ayahuasca ceremony. I was to drink the tea made from the dead man's root, a vine grown only in the Amazon forest. It's used in a shamanic ceremony to bring truth of purpose to the awareness of the drinker. And it also purges the body. So I had been eating vegetarian food for 2 weeks. And then, all dressed in white, as is tradition in this village, I drank a great big cup of black, gloopy tea. But nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. I went to sleep for 8 hours. No dreams, no visions, no physical purge. Mateo said he still couldn't find me. And what he meant was my life force, my spiritual life force, needed stronger connection. He had some more work to do. So that day, I bathed in herbs, had another manipulation, this one around my throat and neck, and then again I drank. This time, 2 great big cups of black, gloopy tea. And this time, I entered the energy of my soul. The one I'd sent away years ago, the one that could do anything. I saw amazing things, was given the truth of my purpose and my journey, symbolically, gently, and I was held in such love as my body detoxified itself. It was an amazing experience, the first of many. That night, though, was different. That night I saw who I could be, who I wanted to be, and I felt joy in my existence and laughter in my heart, and most of all, gratitude for the experiences I'd had so far. For I knew then that every single one had led me to this place. I stayed in Peru for a while, visiting the Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, Lake Titicaca, Cusco, and the high Andes, all of which were memorable. I felt I'd found my home, and in fact I had. But it wasn't a destination or a place. It was inside me. I came to an understanding for the first time in my life of total responsibility, that my inner world was more important than my outer world. And from that day, I've kept these truths in my heart and lived my life with that intention. I went to Peru feeling lost in my life, and I came back awakened and here.